How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and today I have got some pretty cool pickups to show you, including a couple titles that have been on my holy grail-ish list, if you will, and that list is pretty small, so definitely some really exciting and super sought-after titles. I hope you guys are excited to check it out. Without further ado, let's go. Alright guys, so to give you a little backstory on where all these goodies, or at least 90% of these goodies came from, I will break the story down really quick for you. Basically, my good buddy Nate of the Sprite Lovers has decided to refocus his collecting, and I've seen that a lot in video game collecting where, you know, the collector just decides they have too much stuff spread over all kinds of systems, and the room is full, and they just want to kind of refocus their collection into specific things that bring them the most pleasure. And in the case of Nate, he's decided to go for a complete PlayStation 1 set, and he's actually doing really well so far. I'll go ahead and I will link him below so you guys can check it out. I'll link the first episode of his PlayStation pursuit, and basically he's up to, I think, like the 7th episode at this point, but he is just chronicling, kind of like I did with my quest for NES, his attempts to get a complete PlayStation 1 set. So definitely a large feat, maybe not as financially difficult as a Nintendo set, but definitely a lot of games. I think there's like 1,500 games for PlayStation 1, so he's got his work cut out for him. But anyways, some of the games on this list were those, you know, if I ever decide to sell them, you get dibs, and I never really thought that he would sell them, but because he was so focused on this goal, he knew he had to part with some good games. And I definitely was more than happy to oblige to pick these up. And I think he was pretty happy too, because he knew they're kind of staying within the family, if you will, as far as, you know, collecting friends and all that. So definitely appreciate that, and again, thanks to Nate. So let me show you guys what I got, and this is in no particular order. I kind of have piles, but you guys know how I get. So the first one is a renovation title, and I do eventually want to get a complete renovation Genesis set, and this gets me one step closer. This one is Whip Rush, and it's in really good shape, complete in box, everything there, obviously. Definitely something I wanted to get my hands on. It's a shooter. I'm told it's not like the best ever, but it is pretty decent, so something that I'm really excited to check out and glad to have in the collection. This next one is going to confuse you guys because like I've said in the past, or if you weren't aware, I have a complete licensed Nintendo set. But this is actually one of the first Nintendo games that I've actually picked up in quite some time. Not to say that I felt the burn, if you will, for completing the Nintendo set. It definitely did put some huge collector burn on me, and it makes me even kind of tentative to even look at Nintendo games. It's kind of tough just because I did it for so long, you know, and I'm kind of just burned out from it. But anyways, long-winded there, I apologize. The game is Castlevania. And what makes this one special, and something I've wanted to get my hands on for a while, is this is actually a 5-screw. And it's not the hardest of the 5 screws to come by any means, but it's definitely something I wanted to have. Castlevania is something I played like originally as a kid. Really fun title. I remember playing it with my older brother, so definitely wanted to get the 5-screw version of this, so very happy to be able to get this one in the collection. Next one is a Super Nintendo title, and surprisingly I didn't have this, so I took advantage in this opportunity, and I'm very happy to get it in the collection. It's Joe and Mac, which is a really good 2-player action platformer by Data East. In other areas, this is actually called Caveman Ninja, so still pretty cool. Next, I'll show you guys a handful of Game Boy Advance games. Just like a lot of my friends, I really enjoy collecting the complete-in-box Game Boy Advance games. And I had an opportunity here to pick a couple up, so I did. First one here, this was just a box and manual. I had the card already, which I found for $2 actually at the Midwest Gaming Classic 2 years back. But I'm able to complete it now, and it's River City Ransom EX. Unfortunately, it's still got a little bit of sticker residue on it, which I haven't been able to get off. It's really difficult on cardboard, and I don't want to damage the box, so I think I'm going to sit on it for now, and I'll figure something out. But Goo Gone really wouldn't even take it off, so it's some pretty sick glue. Anyways, guys, really happy to get this complete. The other one I'm looking for that's from Atlas would be the Double Dragon game like this, so that one's definitely high on the want list. Hopefully I can find that at the Too Many Games convention that I'm going to this weekend. Anyways, next one is Riviera the Promised Land. I haven't heard anything about this. It looks pretty cool. Kind of looks like a strategy RPG. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If this is something you guys have checked out, let me know. Big fan of Atlas Publisher, and I wanted to check it out, but I'm not really sure other than Atlas and RPG. So, kind of looks like a strategy RPG, but looks can be deceiving. Last but not least, for the Game Boy Advance, this one actually is part of a series. I just recently got the 5th one for PlayStation from Gaijin Works. This one's an Atlas title. It's Summon Night Swordcraft Story. It's in one of those cool little box protectors there. I really like getting these for those. But again, I haven't heard anything about this, but it kind of looks, again, RPG, Atlas. It's not too hard to figure out. Alright, next stuff. Picked up 2 boxes and manuals that I wanted to get to complete games that are in my collection. The first one, I've actually never played this specific entry in the series, but I had a ton of fun with the very first entry on the system. This is Cruisin' Exotica, and again, it's just a box and manual, but I had a ton of fun playing the original Cruisin' USA on the N64. I know when playing, I would double tap the gas and it would kind of like accelerate and put a little bit of fire out of the exhaust, and I don't know why I always thought, oh, look how much quicker I'm going, even though my speed limit would actually probably go down, but I am really long-winded today. I apologize. I'm getting all nostalgic and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I was drinking too much Ecto-Cooler or something. Anyways, the next one, I really enjoy this game. Unfortunately, it's a bit dated graphically at this point, but still really, really fun. It's Beetle Adventure Racing, and again, just the box and manual for that one. Alright, coming up to the grand finale-ish here. I'm going to digress a little bit and show you guys 2 pickups, only 2 actually that weren't from Nate in this video, that I picked up while I was at, I think it was called Salt City Comic Con. It was held in Syracuse, which is just a couple hours from me, and I went up there to actually see Nate and pick some games up from him. And I'll show you the games I got from him at that specific point, right after I show you these 2 items. These next 2 games are actually got from Pat Milligan, who has his own little video game business, if you will, and he actually does really well. He's a really fair vendor, and I was really happy to pick these items up from him. So let me give you guys a quick look at them. The first one here is Wizard of Oz Beyond the Yellow Brick Road. And you might be thinking, what the heck? Believe it or not, this was put out by Xseed, and it's actually pretty cool little RPG. So I've heard good stuff, and I wanted to check it out, so I grabbed it. The next item I think is really, really cool, and I will try to open it for you guys, but I'll give you a quick peek here. This is actually a complete-in-box Sega Channel, and unfortunately as a kid I was not well off, and I did not have the Sega Channel. I actually knew one friend who did, and I was totally blown away by it, but this is really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore, obviously, since you need like a cable service, and the service has been like long canceled. But I guess you can like power it up and get to the intro screen, which is pretty cool. Anyways, I was really happy to get this in the condition it's in and complete in box. So definitely something I had to pick up. I really like these weird, obscure things. So, all right, the items that I got from Nate at this specific convention. He actually had a table there. Only a couple items, unfortunately. I was in cheapo mode between getting the Sega Channel and the Xseed game. Didn't want to spend too much because I'm saving up for con season, but I did pick up a couple complete-in-box games. The first one being Jet Force Gemini, and I don't know why. I was a huge N64 fan, and I had a ton of the games, or if I didn't have them, I played friends' copies or whatever. I never played this, and I'm told it's really, really good. So if you guys have checked this out, let me know. I know it's kind of like a action platformer 3D game. Very common on the system at the time, but yeah, I definitely missed out on one. I think this is a really good game, so let me know if you guys think I should move this up higher on the priority 2 playlist. This next one here, I'm surprised is so undervalued. It's just not an expensive game, and what throws me off is that it's really fun. I've played it a ton, and it's a Capcom game. So it's Disney's Goof Troop, and Disney games are usually gold anyways, especially when Capcom put them out, but really fun, and it is a 2-player game. So this comes highly recommended from Grimsie42 if you guys haven't checked this out yet. And like I said, it's really not expensive. I think it's like 20 bucks complete, so pretty cool. Alright guys, coming up to the end here, just a few different games to show you, including 2 really big ones that I was super happy to get in my collection. Just to show you first, this is one little add-on that Nate kind of threw in. It's just like a pack of Naruto cards, and normally that would have no relevance to me, but I guess this actually came packed in with the Atlas Naruto Wii U game, or Wii game. I apologize. There's no Naruto on Wii U that I'm aware of. Anyways, a Naruto game for the Wii that was put out by Atlas. You actually have to look on the back. There's just a very little Atlas logo. And apparently this was bundled in with it. So being the cool guy that he was, he helped me make mine true complete, which is very, very much appreciated. Alright, a couple cheap Saturn games, so I will show you really quick. Just NASCAR 98 and NHL 97. These are just games I didn't have, and complete Saturn is definitely a strong potential for a goal of mine, so I grabbed these just for a couple bucks each. Definitely something I can handle. This next one here on Sega CD, I've actually wanted to get this for quite some time. It's not that I ever found it like extremely overpriced, it's just that it's not a super expensive game, and I knew if I waited long enough I would find a copy at a price I was comfortable paying. And it's a pretty cool RPG by Sega, and it's Dark Wizard. And just looking, I mean, obviously the graphics are pretty dated, and it does have a strategy look to it, so it's kind of, I guess maybe you'd say similar to like a Shining Force, just in the style. But again, a little bit more primitive graphics, but just cool to get one of the few RPGs on the system, so definitely happy to get that. Alright guys, 2 games left. I saved the best for last, as I tend to do, and I will show you them now. The first one is actually a huge source of anger on my part. I tried to pre-order this when it originally came out, and I was unfortunately not able to. I don't know if I underestimated its potential demand, or if I was slow to the trigger, or it was just a bunch of BS shenanigans by scalpers and the such, but thankfully, because of Nate, I am now the proud owner of the Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition, and I'm not really a big 3DS guy. I do have some decent titles, and you know, a pretty good amount of them, but I just have never really enjoyed portable gaming. The thing that really drew me to this is the only way that I'm aware of you can get the entire, I guess it's 3 parts to the game, and this is the only way you can get them on physical media. You can buy parts 1 and 2 separately, but that 3rd part you have to like download, which, I don't know, I've said it my stance plenty of times, I'm sure you guys have heard, I don't like to pay for something that I don't physically own. I don't like to pay for digital content unless it's extremely inexpensive, and if there is an option for physical, that's the way I want to go. So, very, very happy to get this off of Nate. He gave me a very fair price. And he also threw in the little pre-order bonus that you'd get from GameStop. It's, I guess, 3 little keychain dudes, so pretty cool to get that. Anywho, this last one is something that I joked with Nate many a times, you know, that I really, really, really wanted to get off of him, and he actually had purchased this when it was new, like as a kid, and he had it since like the mid-90s, so I knew that it was going to take a miracle to get this to come off his possession, and thankfully, that miracle came where he was, like I said, restructuring his collection towards PlayStation 1, and he did say, you know, hey, you know, I always told you if I ever got rid of it, you'd have dibs, so he kept to his word, and he gave me an unbelievable price, and I am now, like, all choked up and nonsense on it. I'm all emotional, but this is something I really wanted, and to get it from him meant even more. So this is one of those games that's going to stay in the collection as long as I have a collection. And that game, long-awaited, drum roll, whatever, is Burning Rangers. Ooh, it's in a weird little protective plastic here, and I almost bowed the plastic, if you will, but it is in very, very good condition, and this is the, I'm the second owner, I guess. Like I said, he was the original owner, and Burning Rangers is a really, really cool game. It's something that I've played a little bit, not a ton because I didn't have a Saturn as a kid, but I always tried my best to get my hands on one if a friend had one or whatever, and this is a game that I really enjoyed. It was actually put out by the Sonic team, and it's basically kind of cool. I would say it was a bit ambitious for its time because unfortunately the Saturn was not known for its 3D capabilities, but still a really, really fun game where basically the Burning Rangers are Fire Rangers, and are firefighters, I guess. Fire Ranger. And like the Red Ranger, I don't know. Anyways, basically you just run around and put out fires. So pretty cool concept, and something that I thought was really, really sweet. So again, I'm eternally grateful for Nate to help me get this into my collection. It means the world to me, and it also means the world to me that you guys stuck around to the end. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what some of the games you've picked up are recently, and some of your holy grails, if you will. And I know that term gets thrown around loosely, and people are like, the holy grail is this one thing. I get it, but hidden gem, and there's a few terms that collectors like to use. Some are overused, some aren't. I like to say Holy Grail is a game that means the world to you. So if I think Stadium Events is a Holy Grail and I get Stadium Events, I'm going to get a new Holy Grail in my head to drive and motivate me to find this rare game. So to me, basically, a Holy Grail would symbolize any really, really hard to find game that means a lot to you. Not just a rare game, but something that you really want in your collection for a purpose, whether it be, the last game to complete a set, or something that has a ton of nostalgia for you, or something that's just super rare, and in this case fun, like Burning Rangers. So anyways, guys, let me know what some of your Holy Grails are. I appreciate you watching and sticking around to the end, and until next time, take care.